is Laura Wiggs, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how to start your own compost. I have a real attention getter for you. Composting can help eliminate 20% of the waste that goes to a landfill. In 1 year, the average person will be sending 1,679 pounds of trash to the landfill. But if you started composting today, you would be saving 336 of those pounds from the landfill. Composting is among the most effortless and easiest things you can do to reduce your impact on the environment, help nature, add nutrients and minerals to the soil, and increase your crop yield. I'm a credible source because I've been composting for the last 3 years. I've also done extensive research on this subject just recently. I'll be going over 3 key points with you: why we need to compost, how to compost, and what the finished product is going to look like. Now that I've given you a preview of what I'll be informing you about, let's get down and dirty. The first reason I want to talk about is the amount of waste that we have. The EPA estimates that 20% of the trash that we send to the landfill could be composted. In 1 year, the average person is going to be sending 1,679 pounds of trash to the landfill. But if we saved it and composted what we could, we'd be saving 336 of those pounds. In 10 years, we're going up to 16,790 pounds of trash being sent per person. If that person took out what they could compost, they would be taking out 1,679 pounds. In 25 years, 41,975 pounds will be sent to the landfill. But if that person composted, they'd be saving 16,790 pounds. In a lifetime, saying the person lived 70 years is an astonishing 117,530. But if they just took the time to compost, it would be 23,506 pounds saved from the landfill. Composting is natural, sensible, and effortless. Another good reason is because of the high cost of fertilizer and pesticides. The difference between composted soil and topsoil is a whole 90% more minerals in compost. It also increased your moisture retention by 60%. That's a lot. You wouldn't have to water as often. Now that you know the benefits of composting, let's go out and get a green thumb. I believe that composting is so easy, I'm going to show you how to do it in 4 easy steps. First, you want to designate an area that will be assigned to your compost. Something that's 4 feet by 4 feet is a good size to start with. It can be as big as 16 by 16 feet. You want an area that's easy to access and easy to move around, since it's going to have to be stirred some. The next thing that you want to do is that you want to gather the organic materials. You can do this slowly, over time, or do it all at once. The material you can use is high carbon. We're going to call those browns. That's 75%. And high nitrogen, we're going to call those greens. That's 25%. This morning I took the time to gather some of the things in my kitchen and around my house that we could have used to put in our compost pile. I'm going to start with browns first because it's our biggest group, being 75%. You'll find these things everywhere. You can use dry leaves, pine needles, hay. You can even use nutshells. You can use paper, tissue paper, and bills. That's my favorite. You can also use ash from your fireplace. The only things that you don't want to use are things that are from dog waste, milk, dairy products, protein, such as meats, things like that. Can't use animal waste like dogs and cats, but you can use other manure. The other part is 25%. That's our greens. That's the high nitrogen. You'll find high nitrogen in such things as rotting food, as vegetables and fruits. You can even use eggshells. That adds a good amount of calcium too. You can use weeds. You want to stay away from weeds that are flowering though, because that's going to add seeds to your compost. And coffee grounds. Used coffee grounds. The next thing that you want to add is air, water, about 60% water, and you want to stir it. It needs to be stirred about every 2 weeks. I'm bad about stirring my compost, so it takes longer for me to get the finished product. The very last step, the easiest one, is nature. It's going to be done by just heating up on its own. Anywhere from 100 to 160 degrees Fahrenheit is what you want your compost pile to be. Now that we've cooked up ourselves a good compost, let's see what the finished product's going to look like. I've got a little bit here for us to see. What you want to look for is that you no longer see the recognizable products that you put in there in the first place. It should smell good and be airy and light. Now that I've shown you why we want to compost, and I've shown you how to compost and what the finished product's going to look like, I hope everybody does their part. If you want some extra information on the subject, you can go to the EPA, Composting 101, Earth 911, and Fort Worth Environmental Services and Management also has a class that you can take on composting. They can offer you some good information there too. That's all. Thank you.
Beautiful.